Greetings everyone. In this short video discussion I will be covering the topic of paradoxes and New Age spiritual philosophies. In many spiritual teachings and traditions there tends to be a focus on cultivating the positive or the light polarity, looking upon things that may be provocative of fear or anger or grief or things like that as something to be avoided. There's also a common concept that only love is real, that everything else is somehow just an illusion. While there may be some kernels of truth or some value to some of those perspectives, there is actually a more inclusive way of looking at things that can kind of resolve some of the paradoxes that are brought up by those ideas. If we look at the example of the idea only love is real, we must recognize that we are all experiencing realities where there are many things that are in contrast with love. Our realities include everything that is distinct from love, or everything that represents an absence of love. So we have a world where there's a lot of anger, a lot of fear, a lot of hatred and jealousy, and so on. If we realize that our experiences are, in their own sense, real, in fact, the only reality is what we experience. We personally know of no other reality than our own experience. Then it would be foolish to say that those experiences aren't real. And therefore, the idea that only love is real doesn't really apply to our personal experiences. It's referring more to an awareness that there is a source level of reality, some state of consciousness where only love is known, or only love is felt or understood. However, to fully realize love, to fully understand it, then everything that is not love must also be explored. Therefore, we, as spiritual beings, created these realms of contrast to experience and explore them, and through that process to gain a deeper, a more thorough and complete understanding of our essential nature and of the shadows of that nature. So there's light, but light is better understood through its contrast with shadow. Therefore, there is no reason to deny, to resist the existence of these other levels, of these other forms of experience. They're there to be observed and explored. Life is not something that is as simple as a slogan or a short statement like only love is real. That statement may be giving us a pointer to a deeper reality. It may guide us to seek our source, to seek to reunify with that loving essence from which we have arisen. However, it's not logical or fruitful to attempt to deny what is right there in front of us or around us in our personal experience. People also often tend to wish to avoid things that provoke some type of negative emotional reaction within them. People may avoid watching movies that are filled with violence, that have things that are designed to elicit fear, etc. Yet it's possible to observe those things without having those reactions. to be in a more neutral, centered state, to not have the reactions or judgments about the stimuli. Therefore, we can see that the power is within ourselves. We are the ones giving meaning to those external phenomena. We are the ones interpreting them and responding to them based upon our own programming. We will actually have more power if we can cultivate a state of centeredness, a state of balance or neutrality. From that state, we can observe anything and not be thrown off balance by it, not be triggered into a state of fear, into a state of sadness, or other vibrational states that weaken us. I encourage each of you to consider how you observe and interpret things in your reality, how you react to things, what beliefs, what values and judgments that you may be attached to, and consider whether those are serving your own empowerment, your own higher understanding. Also, if we consider that everything is part of one creative process, one eternal source, we might consider that the Creator is not rejecting or resisting anything in creation. The Creator is not judging anything as inherently wrong or forbidden or taboo. The Creator is actually making use of every life form, of every expression of existence. Therefore, there's no need for us in our human experience to deny, to reject, or resist the existence of that which is around us. If we can observe things with a desire for greater understanding, a desire for greater truth, then we would not be limiting ourselves. We would not be avoiding or denying things. We would be expanding our consciousness and giving ourselves more power and potential, more ability to process, to handle what is there around us. Let's consider an example of just something simple in the world around us that we often interpret in a polarized way. People think that too much carbon dioxide in the air is a negative or bad thing. However, from the point of view of plants, having extra carbon dioxide could be beneficial to foster their growth. So from the point of view of the plants, that extra carbon dioxide is not a bad thing. However, as human beings, since our system carries the conditioning and programming to not have too much carbon dioxide breathed in, then for us it would seem to be a bad thing. But that's only our judgment relative to the way our bodies have been programmed to function. We also carry attachment to a variety of moral and ethical values. However, not everyone would necessarily share those same values. For many people, lying, cheating, stealing, etc. are things that are to be shunned, things that are seen as immoral, things that what we conceive of as God would disapprove of. Yet there are other people who have an amoral philosophy, who essentially believe that whatever they wish to do from their own point of view is perfectly fine, that they can seek their own desires without any moral or ethical concerns. To them, it would actually be negative to try to cater to the morals of other people. They look down upon that. They feel superior in their lack of morality. So of course, that's their relative judgment, just as it's the relative judgment of other people that they are superior for having the moral values and acting according to that. Now, there are metaphysical implications of how we act, how we treat ourselves and other people. And that's something that we each learn about as we go through our life experience. Clearly, if you treat other people in certain ways, that's going to elicit them reacting and treating you in certain ways, and it affects the ability of society to function. It would often trigger some type of pain or suffering for other people if you treat them in certain ways. And since we are all connected, we are all aspects of the same spiritual source, then when we treat another person a certain way, it is as though we're treating ourselves in that way, even if we're not conscious of that. However, it's helpful to realize that not everyone shares the same values and beliefs that you do. We have the freedom to create any values, any belief systems that we wish to, and to live our lives according to those worldviews, to those perspectives. And it is through that diversity, through those contrasting values, beliefs, and perspectives, that consciousness continues to grow and expand, to develop even more self-awareness, even greater understanding. These are some interesting ideas to ponder, and there are, of course, multiple paradoxes that present themselves when we consider these different perspectives. There's the perspective of the individual self, who is seeking to be perhaps in harmony with his or her concept of God, who is seeking to do what is perceived as good or right or proper, while there's also the perspective of the divine, of the infinite, which may see things in a different way, which may see the value in all expressions of life, in all paths of experience, in all beliefs and values that are being explored. I appreciate each of you for taking your time to view this video, to explore these ideas, these concepts, to seek to elevate or transform your consciousness. For those who would like to view more videos on these types of topics, I welcome you to browse my YouTube channel, and you can also visit my website at www.phinsights.com. You can also find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Jedi Holistic Healing. For now, I wish everyone a wonderful day. Namaste.